Hi everyone. So I actually found this interesting problem that we can work on today. So as you can see, we have three lines that we're working with where the two passes through the origin, and then we have the line defined by the equation 2x plus 3y is equal to 6, passing through 2 points, P and Q. And the goal is to find the length of PQ. So what concepts do we need to solve this problem? So as you know, the goal is to refresh everything that we already know in our past math classes with these online videos. So let's go ahead and take a refresher on all the concepts that we might be needing to solve this particular problem. So we have, let's go back up. Here's my cheat sheet. So always remember x and y intercepts. So x-intercept is a value of x and y is 0, and it's the same for y-intercept. We just switch the things around. And then we also have distance of points. So keep that in mind, because remember, we want to find the length of segment PQ, meaning as soon as we know what P and Q are, we will need to find its length, right? And of course, equation of lines. So for our case, it's really helpful to use the slope-intercept form. And why is that? Let's go back to the problem. Okay, so we have P with a slope of 1/4, and also we have Q with a slope of 1/5. And these two lines, they pass through the origin. So that's telling us that the y-intercepts for both of them is equal to 0. So immediately we can use all these values and set up the equation of the line. Then what is the goal? Once you have the equation of this line, let's call this line P, and then line Q, the goal is to find two intersecting points, right? So we're solving two systems of linear equations to find one point P and then point Q. Once we have the 2 points, we can then go ahead and use a distance formula to solve for the length of segment PQ. So let's go ahead and jump through our whiteboard. I might have just skipped to a new tab, so bear with me here. I'll just stop sharing my screen quickly and then open my whiteboard. I pasted those questions already and also included the concepts that we might be needing to solve this problem. Okay, so again, we have line Q and line P. So I'm just calling them P and Q, although we also need the values of P and Q, just so that we don't use a lot of variables. You get me, right? So again, we're using y is equal to mx plus b. For line P, we have m is 1/4. And then, of course, the y-intercept is 0 because it passes through the origin. So meaning the equation of the line for P is just equal to y is equal to 1/4 x plus 0, or that's just y is equal to 1/4 x. So at this point, you should probably have an idea on how to find the equation of the line for Q. So m is 1/5, and then b is 0. That gives us y is equal to 1/5 x, correct? So these are the equations of the line. So p is 1/4 x. I'll just write that here for visual representation. Okay, we need a darker violet, right? I'll just 1/4 x. Okay, let me add a few more. I want a darker violet. Just bear with me, this will be fast. Okay, there we go. And then I can go ahead and label Q as, never mind. Okay, y equals to 1/5 x. All right, there we go. Now let's focus first on the intersection of line P and 2x plus 3y, right? So we want to find this value. And remember, for intersecting points, it just tells us that these are the values of x and y where both equations are true. So we're actually solving for a system of equation, and that's y equals to 1/4 x and 2x plus 3y is equal to 6. So we can immediately use substitution method here. So we have 3/4 x for y because y is equal to 1/4, right? Is equal to 6. Multiply 4 on both sides to eliminate any fractions. If you're comfortable working with fractions, that's fine, but I'm not. So I'm working with whole numbers instead. So that's giving us x is equal to 24/11. And y should be 24/11 times 1/4. And that's 6/11. So we now have p coordinate, which is 24/11, and then we have 6/11. And we'll do the same for Q actually. And again, for the intersecting point here, we're just solving the system of equation. Y is equal to 1/5 x. And then we have once again the third line, 2x plus 3y is equal to 6. So we are doing very closely similar steps. So we have 3/5 x is equal to 6. Again, I'll multiply 5 on both sides to eliminate fractions. You don't have to do this if you're comfortable working with fractions. I'm not. So let's go ahead and continue working on this and solve for x. 30. So since x is 30/13, okay, so that's a common careless mistake that you might encounter like I did. So double check your work. And then we have y is equal to 30/13 multiplied by 1/5. And that gives us 6/13. Meaning Q has a coordinates of 30/13 and then 6/13. All right, there we go. So now the goal is to find segment PQ. So meaning we're solving for the distance between P and Q. And this is where the distance formula enters, right? So let's apply this, subtract the x coordinates. So we have 24/11 minus 30/11 squared plus 6/11. We're now subtracting the y coordinates. Okay, and take the square root of the whole thing. Did you notice any mistake? This should have been over 13, right? Okay, let's just go and erase. Okay, let me just erase that and switch it up to 30. And then at this point, you can use your calculator or whatever you have with you to simplify this, or maybe this is already an exercise for you. So I won't go into the detail of how to simplify this part here. So you should end up with 6/13/11. So if you have a scientific calculator with you, make sure that it returns an exact value if it's asking for exact value. But this should be around 0.151. Okay. Desmos is a hot thing, so let's go ahead and double check our work with Desmos, right? So we have these values 24/11, 30/13. On Desmos, what we can do is just spot check. Is this the correct values? Am I getting the right values for X and Y? And I'll show you how to do that. Let me just share my screen again. Hold on. This closes the whiteboard, so give me a second to take a screenshot of my solution. There we go. And then let's go ahead and close the whiteboard. I'll quickly share my screen so we can use Desmos. Okay. I'm using the standard Desmos right now. Let's type in the equations that we have. So that was y equals to 1/4 x. Y is 1/5 x. And then we have 2x plus 3y is equal to 6. Okay. And then since we already have like the exact values, you can just spot check. So this should be 2.0 172, right? Our intersecting point. So you can just go ahead and let's say 24/11, and that should give us 2.18 roughly, right? And that makes sense. And that's how you just spot check using Desmos and then see if the values are making sense for X and Y. So Desmos can also be like your second soundboard just to make sure you did all the arithmetic correctly. So again, let's go back to the whiteboard that we're using. And I hope that through this, because I saw this all over Reddit, to be honest, and I just wanted to create a video solution showing how you can work out on problems similar to this. So hopefully this helps, and let me know if you have any other questions or you need some help with some other question. Feel free to comment them down or post them on our subreddit. Okay, that's it for now. Good luck with your SAT prep.